We're headed back to Joint Base Andrews, where the president is set to leave Marine One and address the crowd in a matter of moments. We're going to stay with this here on the CW7 for the next several minutes until the president speaks. Gretchen, we saw that the president leave the White House. It was just minutes ago, so obviously a very short trip over to this military base from the White House. But it was interesting because the president was with the First Lady, and they stopped and made some remarks to some reporters, and people gathered outside before they got on this helicopter.
Yes, we didn't know exactly what they were talking about, but, you know, final thoughts as he gets ready to depart and leave the White House and leave the office of the presidency. Vice President Mike Pence will not be joining the president here at Joint Base Andrews for these remarks. He's going to be staying behind in D.C. for the inauguration and the ceremony that will be taking place in just a few hours. And I believe that Ivanka Trump, Trump's daughter, and her husband, Jared Kushner, also joined the president and First Lady Melania on this trip as well. So they're just landing here and getting ready to depart before they address several people. Now, actually, it looks like from this other live feed that's a little bit ahead, it looks like I think Ivanka might be actually on the ground here already waiting with Jared. So we'll see who gets off Marine One here in just a few minutes, but they will be addressing a crowd. Several folks are here, masked up, phones out, ready to hear the final words of the president.
It's worth noting how non-traditional this is. President Trump has not conceded this election, has not called Joe Biden yet either. So this is something that is not tradition. Usually the president is at the inauguration of the incoming president. President Trump, now the first president since Andrew Johnson in 1869 not to attend the inauguration of the next president. He'll be making his remarks here and then boarding Air Force One the final time as president of the United States, headed down to where he'll live as a private citizen now. Palm Beach, Florida, at his Mar-a-Lago resort. We know that he spent a lot of time going back and forth between Washington, D.C. and Florida during his last 4 years as being president. And Gretchen, while President Trump held office, he did come to Evansville in this area a couple times for rallies. He held a rally for now Senator Mike Braun whenever he was gearing up for his election campaign. So we've seen him here in Evansville, and obviously he won the state of Indiana. He won the state of Kentucky in the most recent election. He also won those states in 2016. So a lot of support for the president here and a lot of support there at Joint Base Andrews today as invitations were sent out to people, and they're prepping now to hear him speak for one final time.
Probably helps, too, that he visited here because his vice president used to be the governor here, so that probably has a tie as to why he made a couple trips, obviously, to Evansville as well. And
I think that's a noteworthy thing, too, about today. Vice President Mike Pence is not at Joint Base Andrews, basically stating logistically it would be impossible for him to be here for this ceremony with President Trump and also at the inauguration. So he's chosen to be at the inauguration of Joe Biden and his successor, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. You can see now that without Vice President Pence there, President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump getting off of Marine One, and they're heading to the podium. We're going to take a live listen in here as the president takes the stage.
Not sure if First Lady will say any remarks as well, but we know obviously the president will be saying some words here shortly in front of a crowd there, ready for him.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we love you, and I can tell you that from the bottom of my heart. This has been an incredible 4 years. We've accomplished so much together. I want to thank all of my family and my friends and my staff and so many other people for being here. I want to thank you for your effort, your hard work. People have no idea how hard this family worked. They worked, and they worked for you. They could have had a much easier life, but they did a fantastic job. I just want to thank all of you, everyone. I want to thank Mark Meadows, who's here, someplace right there. I want to thank Mark. But it's been something very special. We've accomplished a lot. Our First Lady has been a woman of great grace and beauty and dignity. And so popular with the people, so popular with the people. In fact, honey, would you like to say a few words, please?
Being your First Lady was my greatest honor. Thank you for your love and your support. You will be in my thoughts and prayers. God bless you all. God bless your families. And God bless this beautiful nation. Thank you.
What else has to be said, right? But what we've done, that's true, honey, great job. What we've done has been amazing by any standard. We rebuilt the United States military. We created a new force called Space Force. That in itself would be a major achievement for a regular administration. We were not a regular administration. We took care of the vets, 91% approval rating. They've never had that before. The vets have given us, the VA, the vets have given us an approval rating like has never been before. We took care of our vets and our beautiful vets. They were very badly treated before we came along. And as you know, we get them great service and we pick up the bill and they can go out and they can see a doctor if they have to wait long periods of time. We got it so that we can sadly get rid of people that don't treat our vets properly. We didn't have any of those rights before when I came on, so our vets are happy, our people are happy, our military is thrilled. We also got tax cuts, the largest tax cut and reform in the history of our country by far. I hope they don't raise your taxes. But if they do, I told you so. And if you look at the regulations, which I consider the regulation cuts to be maybe even more important, that's why we have such good and have had such good job numbers. The job numbers have been absolutely incredible. When we started, had we not been hit by the pandemic, we would have had numbers that would never have been seen. Already our numbers are the best ever. If you look at what happened until February a year ago, our numbers were at a level that nobody had ever seen before. And even now, we really built it twice. We got hit. Nobody blames us for that. The whole world got hit, and then we built it again. And now the stock market is actually substantially higher than it was at its higher point prior to the pandemic. So it's really, you could say we built it twice. And you're going to see incredible numbers start coming in if everything is sort of left alone. Be careful. Very complex. Be careful. But you're going to see some incredible things happening. And remember us when you see these things happening, if you would. Remember us, because I'm looking at elements of our economy that are set to be a rocket ship up. It's a rocket ship up. We have the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest economy in the world. And as bad as the pandemic was, we were hit so hard, just like the entire world was hit so hard. Places that thought they got away with it didn't get away with it. They're suffering right now. We did something that is really considered a medical miracle. They're calling it a miracle, and that was the vaccine. We got the vaccine developed in 9 months instead of 9 years or 5 years or 10 years or a long time. It was supposed to take a long time, many, many years to develop a vaccine. We have 2 out. We have another one coming almost immediately. And it really is a great achievement. So you should start to see really good numbers over the next few months. I think you're going to see those numbers really skyrocket downward. And I can only say this, we have worked hard. We've left it all, as the athletes would say, we've left it all in the field. We don't have to come and say, we'll never say in a month when we're sitting in Florida, we're not going to be looking at each other and saying, you know, if we only worked a little bit harder, you can't work harder. And we had a lot of obstacles, and we went through the obstacles, and we just got 75 million votes, and that's a record in the history of sitting presidents. That's an all-time record by a lot, by many millions. In the history of sitting presidents, it's been really just an honor. One of the things we're very, very proud of is the selection of almost 300 federal judges and 3 great Supreme Court justices. That's a very big number. That's a record-setting number. And so we've done a lot, and there's still things to do. The first thing we have to do is pay our respects and our love to the incredible people and families who suffered so gravely from the China virus. It's a horrible thing that was put onto the world. We all know where it came from, but it's a horrible, horrible thing. So be very careful. Be very, very careful. But we want to pay great love to all of the people that have suffered, including families who have suffered so gravely. So with that, I just want to say you are amazing people. This is a great, great country. It is my greatest honor and privilege to have been your president. I will always fight for you. I will be watching, I will be listening, and I will tell you that the future of this country has never been better. I wish the new administration great luck and great success. I think they'll have great success. They have the foundation to do something really spectacular. And again, we put it in a position like it's never been before, despite the worst plague to hit since, I guess you'd say, 1917, over 100 years ago. And despite that, the things that we've done have been just incredible, and I couldn't have done it without you. So just a goodbye. We love you. We will be back in some form. And again, I want to just, in leaving, I want to thank our Vice President, Mike Pence, and Karen. I want to thank Congress, because we really worked well with Congress, at least certain elements of Congress. But we really did. We've gotten so much done that nobody thought would be possible. But I do want to thank Congress. And I want to thank all of the great people of Washington, D.C., all of the people that we worked with to put this miracle together. So have a good life. We will see you soon. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So President Trump sharing his farewell remarks, thanking the Pence family during the speech there, the former First Family of Indiana. The current First Family of the United States for just a few more hours. President Trump and First Lady Melania both sharing their remarks on stage there, Gretchen, before they're set to board Air Force One and head to Florida.
That's right. He let her say a few remarks there. She talked about her time as being the First Lady, and it was an honor, she said. And he talked about the economy a lot during his final remarks, as well as obviously the pandemic that has taken over the course of the majority of the past year, and talking about the medical miracle that is the vaccine that normally does take years to develop. It only took about 9 months or so, and it's being distributed all over the country. So touting some of his accomplishments, talking about Congress, talking about judges and the appointments there, and the Supreme Court justices as well that are new in D.C. as well. So kind of a list of the past 4 years and the things he has done, along with Congress as well, as we embark on a new presidency.
Yeah, listing his accomplishments, he talked about the tax cuts he implemented along with Congress shortly after he got into office. He spoke about the military and the funding that was added to the military during his time in office. He said that he would be back in some form, one of his final remarks that he made. We really don't know what that is yet. I think it's one of the biggest questions leading into today is not only what the new administration of President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will look like, but also where does President Trump go from here? Like you said, a record number of votes for a sitting president. Joe Biden has the record when it comes to votes ever in an election, both of them being the top 2 in that category after a record turnout in the election, which Joe Biden won and will now be vice president, rather be president, the former vice president, just hours from now at the inauguration.
That's right. And again, we don't know what he means by that. Obviously, the Senate still needs to decide where they're going after the second impeachment in the House just a few days ago. So we'll see how that takes place in the coming weeks as well. But for now, focusing on the transition of power and the inauguration. Obviously, we have coverage right now on our sister station, ABC 25, with Good Morning America, and then there'll be coverage throughout the morning here as things kind of really ramp up at 11 o'clock our time from the U.S. Capitol.
So you see the president boarding Air Force One for one final time. It will take him to his resort at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. He and the First Lady ascending those steps. Plane they've become very used to, almost like a second home over the last 4 years or so. And it's the end of the 4-year administration that President Trump started 4 years ago today.
So as they kind of take a look over the crowd and give a final farewell and thank you to everyone and a final wave, we'll head to break here. We'll be back in just a few minutes.